All right. Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are having an incredible week. We are back on our challenge today with day 8. And the purpose of today's meditation is to focus on resistance and dealing with resistance, which can manifest in multidimensional layers. Now, over the weekend, there have been many developments in terms of how energy is manifested. Hold on just a second. I'm getting a message from someone that's tuning in. They can't hear me right. Okay, I think you guys can hear me now. All right. There we go. Okay. All right, my love. So, welcome everybody. I am so happy to be back. I had a family emergency this weekend, and it was just a very difficult, challenging weekend. But I'm very happy to be back, and everything is good. Everything's fine, back to normal. Yeah, we can just continue. So today, one of the things that kept coming up actually over the weekend and with clients in this past week is there's a couple different themes, and I want you to tell me what you feel as well, what you've been picking up in your healings, because a lot of what I pick up is in meditation with the collective as I tune in to the collective consciousness, when I tune in to the Akash, but also individually as it's expressed through healings with my clients. And as you know, I've mentioned before that we experience certain trends that kind of come in as we're experiencing these kinds of shifts. And one of the things that's been coming up, a couple of things, is the healing of the divine feminine, but in a way that any kind of trauma, any kind of imbalanced connections and resentment towards the feminine, whether it's expressed through imbalanced masculine or expressed through imbalanced feminine. This is something that keeps coming up. And when we're talking about the feminine, of course, we're talking about that ability to tune in to the intuitive gifts, which is what the divine feminine represents. And tuning into the gifts becomes difficult for those that are in a constant state of needing to control what is in the unknown, needing to control how they fear when they're in the unknown, fears, anxieties, doubts, resistance. And it's that resistance that's at the core of all of these things. And when you dive deeper into that resistance, the resistance is mostly about coming into that full expression, fear of not knowing how we will be received, fear of not knowing how the exchange will develop, fear of not knowing whether you can trust your own intuition and the own information that comes through you. So our multidimensional bodies, when we are creating, have a specific structure to it. And depending on how we utilize each aspect of the physical body and the parts that it uses to absorb its environment, we can dictate how we are manifesting from that place. So every part of the body is actually divided into 4 sections. And through these 4 sections, we have quadrants that are in the center axis of the body. Each one of these quadrants of the body are sections that hold vibrational frequencies of information. And depending on how the information is cycled through each of those sections, how it is absorbed, it is affecting the whole collective human organism, your body and your experience. And where we store information is usually the areas that hypnotize, that become asleep, that become unconscious, because there is stagnant information that hasn't flowed through, information that hasn't become aware of itself through those experiences becomes stagnant. And in that stagnation, the flow cannot move. There isn't an evolution of thought. There isn't an evolution of understanding. It is stagnant because it doesn't know how to move from that space. So it's really important to work with the parts of us, again, as we know, the emotions, not to keep them stagnant, but to keep them moving, keep healing, keep always addressing, even when these emotions are incredibly powerful and strong and overwhelming, really focusing on those emotions, because the more we reject or resist or suppress the emotions that are coming up, is the more difficult they're going to become, more magnified, and even more so magnified into our reality by triggering events happening worldwide. So, our contribution to the collective is not just a matter of observing and standing back and maybe not speaking up, but our contribution is so powerful that it really depends on the work that we do in our internal mind, body, and soul. The work that you do in your body and your mind depends on how we experience collectively the things that are happening around us. The same map that we have in our body of meridians, of chakras, of energy frequencies that range from low to high, the transmutation processes of that information in the body are the same that exist in the global network, the planet Earth. The planet Earth also has chakra systems, has a range of vibrational frequencies. Everything is moving in a vortex form in order to create life. This is in nature as much as in our bodies, down to the cells of our body, all the way to weather patterns, to celestial body movements, to the entire movement of the galaxies. All of these patterns in those movements are self-similar down to the molecular level, out to the greatest level. And so what that means that we are an interconnected network of movement, and the evolution that we experience depends very much on every conscious atom in this multiverse. Every single cell plays a role in how we are collectively co-creating. So you, as this cell, as this collective experience of all the things that you've had in your life, are specifically vibrational tuned in order to transmute certain tunes. Let's imagine that they are notes of a musical song. They are meant to transmute those notes into its highest potential vibrational frequency. And so we need to do that, and we do that through the transmutation of emotions, which is the outer layer of the internal work, which is the transmutation and expansion of our perception. So all of that creates health, releasing stagnation from the body. When a civilization or a collective race, for example, ethnic group, experiences traumatic experiences collectively, they create stagnation within similar parts of the organism because they are experiencing stagnant trauma within the bodies and responding usually in the same way that it is collectively. And so what will happen is that generationally they will affect the next generation and how they influence that next generation. And this is scientifically proven that this trauma can be taken down generation to generation. In the multidimensional body, it is expressed in the physical as illnesses that come down our ancestral lineage, or it can be causing a tremendous programs, deeply ingrained programs, traumas, fears, stigmas about things, including yourself and your own intuition. And these kinds of traumas are incredibly paralyzing to an entire race. And so look back at your ancestral roots and take a look at what are the cyclical patterns that in your ancestral roots are really prevalent. And notice how they have informed the way that you feel about yourself in your life here and now. This will really help us understand how they inform the parts of us that are constantly resistant to change, to expansion, to expression. Because all of this programming has to be fact-checked. In other words, it has to be checked to see if truly those programs are the whole complete truth or based on certain individual perceptions of that collective based on those experiences. We are here to experience everything, and what that means is that we have the ability to broaden the perspective of ourselves in these experiences in such a way that we no longer are stuck to just yourself and the other perspective of those experiences. And what that broadening does allows you to release the tension that is stagnant within these parts of the body, energetically, physically, and emotionally. And as we expand those parts, we begin to release collective trauma, not just from yourself, but your entire ancestral lineage that is suffering through that. And when we heal our body, we begin to affect our children and our ancestors, because you are one organism. There is no separation between yourself and the other. So the more we begin to understand how that actually functions, our creation, our trauma, our pain, and our suffering is what creates the reality. Right now we're experiencing several things occurring in the world, and all of these things are in alignment with the evolution that the planetary system is moving through now. We are getting close to the photonic belt, and as we enter into that photonic belt, we begin to vibrate at a higher speed. And that higher speed creates many, many shifts for all of the organisms that are participating in the movement of that time. So whenever we are lowering our vibrational frequency, it becomes unbearable, it becomes intolerable. And therefore, the stagnation and feeling stuck feels even more stuck than ever before. We don't know what's up, what's down. We doubt ourselves. We completely disconnect from ourselves. We feel lost. We feel disconnected. And especially in a time when this kind of disassociation from pain and suffering becomes so overwhelming that so many people begin to check out, this is now being expressed collectively. And through that collective escape is where we are blindsided. Literally, we become unaware of parts of our bodies that become diseased. We become unaware of the collective, in which all kinds of things can occur without our understanding and close observation of what's actually occurring. So this is where the opposing side that is more parasitic can always come in and create things, illusions, guises that completely cover our ability to see truth. And of course we fall for that because we value escape more than we value truth as a collective. So this is where we need to begin to change that. We need to change that. And how do you change that? How do you become okay with truth? Truths that are difficult to see, truths that are difficult to embody and understand. You become friends with truth, but most importantly, what is truth? Truth, sometimes we have to look at the unknown, and the unknown becomes terrifying to us because we haven't quite experienced that perhaps. So finding your basis, finding a really strong foundation in the unknown, in that state of unknown, will allow you to begin to navigate from a place of neutrality. Because we are not going up and down the sliding scale of emotions from happy to sad, reacting and responding to things in a way that is mechanical. So resistance is something that is a result of the fear of feeling these scales of emotions. The happiness or the sadness, we're afraid of feeling any of those ranges, and so we get stuck. We rather not feel, we rather not see, we rather not know, we rather not experience. And these become blockages in our life that completely block our ability to move forward, to know how to move, to intuitively move, and to listen to the guidance that we're receiving from the higher self, which is the infinite source experiencing through this temporary body. So that lack of flow in life force creates ultimately a lot of stagnation in the body, illness, and more importantly, it is reflected in the collective. So the stagnation that's been coming up to the surface now for the past, few years is now really becoming difficult for many to deal with. And some people feel overwhelmed with the fact that they are constantly resistant to everything, resistant to their own intuition, resistant to things that are happening outside, and everything becomes overwhelming when we are in a state of resistance. That overwhelming emotion is one of the most powerful ways to fragment a soul. So I want to take you back into the understanding that the more fragmentation that occurs, this body, this multidimensional body, becomes separate. Just the way we do disassociation with an experience that becomes overwhelming, the body, the multidimensional body, begins to disassociate fragments of itself and stays stagnant, paralyzed in those timelines that are created. So, in order for healing to work, we need to address these fragmentations and reintegrate them into the body. This is not just a theory, it's really much more than that. It is how we create as a whole, how we move, how we navigate, how we create healing for the cell. So, these parts of this healing are incredibly important. Now, working with resistance is going to be one of the most powerful things that you can do, the most liberating things that will assist you in trusting yourself. Most importantly, trusting yourself, and then being able to embody higher bands of information, higher bands of frequency, higher bands of activation in your genetic code, higher bands of intuitive connection, and activate the body so that it can begin to receive more healing and higher vibrational things. And so you might begin channeling, you might begin connecting with some inner wisdom that is higher for you. It is a more safe, it is a more fluid state of being. And that fluidity is what creates health, because we have to remember that we are not this body. We are a network of vibrational frequency. And whenever that vibrational frequency becomes stagnant, it gets slower, heavier wavelength, mass, illness, sickness, stagnation. And so we have like a river, we have to keep flowing. If we don't flow that river, it becomes rotten, stagnant water, right? So we don't want that in the body. And so that kind of energy has to be physical, mental, and emotional at all times. So we're going to be working on that. And before I start, let's get started with all of our beautiful people that are joining us today. Luana, hello. Thank you so much, Luana. I like this background too. Cass Adams, Sonia Wilder, hello, beautiful soul. Welcome, welcome. Love you so much. Thank you for being here. Venusian, hello, Venusian. Hi. Pono, how are you doing? Cass Adams says, wow, definitely what I'm struggling to deal with right now and move through currently. This is an aha moment for me. You're speaking to my soul, sister. I completely feel you. It has been resonant with so many right now, so this is a perfect timing to be doing this. I love your necklace. Thank you so much. Luana says, so much love to you all. I have to go, but we'll do this off. Thanks so much, Luana. Angie says, hi, Geraldine, and all in the chat. Hello. Pono says, super soldier, have it bad. Uh-oh, what's happening there? Summer, the truth, deeper than pain, is pleasure, joy, happiness, and love. They have to realize a stronger light before they go into the darkness. The reality is far more satisfying and fulfilling in a way. Absolutely, Summer. More escapist than escapism. Yes, we become escapist. That's right. Okay, just came from my community pool and felt like I had a good convo with people there. Nice, Joe. Welcome, welcome. You have to realize this before facing the darkness. That is true. That is true. The first step in enjoyment, passion, and love, the first step is to drop everything that isn't that. Very good. Awesome. Very true. But that's not always easy, right? It's not always easy to drop just all of the things that bring us joy. So, in my opinion, and what we're going to do today is to nurture the self in that moment of surrender, in that moment of resistance. Look at all the fragments of ourselves that have been resisting for a long time and work with that. Work with that. Provide a strong foundation, a strong understanding of what resistance is, what it does, why. And through that understanding, now apply that into your every now moment so you can help that when it comes up, when it triggers that resistance. So great to see you, Tiffany. Divine Energy, Sound Buzz. Angie, love the background. Yep, Sound Buzz. I appreciate your channel. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here, guys. Let's get started. So if anybody has any questions, please put it in the chat below, and we're going to answer those questions. I always love your questions. They're amazing. And we can get into that. I think I may have missed some. In 209, hello, welcome. All right, so let's get started, loves. We're going to start by inhaling deeply and exhaling. Closing the eyes, we're going to visualize grounding ourselves down to the center of the earth. And grounding, remember that grounding is bringing the mind from the past or the future into the now. So right now, we're going to take full control of any emotions, any thoughts that are in our space, and we're just going to bring ourselves into this now moment, really powerfully anchoring ourselves to the center of the earth with our light. And the light is going to go underneath the armpits, the breast line, the waist, the hips, the pelvic bone, all the way down to the center core. Anchor yourself. Visualize once again your pillar of light that runs through your body, anchoring down to the center of the earth. And as you create that anchor, I want you to tap into your 5 senses, bringing the body into here, into this experience. Breathing deeply. Okay, we're going to visualize our sphere around the body, just completely aware of our multidimensional body, checking into the 7, 8 layers of the body. The first 8 layers are the ones that we're going to be working on. Breathing deeply. Okay. We're going to start with the root chakra. If you feel if it's difficult to meditate, it's because you have overactive lower chakras. Overactive lower chakras. Constant survival, constant interaction and stimulation, constant emotions that haven't been dealt with. So this is a great opportunity for you to master your body and your mind by bringing yourself in a perfect state of awareness. So just bring yourself into the body. And in the root, we're going to close that double-sided vortex down to the size of a dime. And this will begin to quiet the mind, the reptilian mind, the monkey mind, down to the size of a dime. Sacral, down to the size of a dime. Solar, closing it down to the size of a dime. Breathing deeply. Going up to the heart center. Go ahead and expand that heart center as wide as possible, front and back. Opening the center of unconditional love. Going up to the throat. Blue light. Opening that chakra as wide as possible, opening the center of communication and expression. And go up to your third eye. Go ahead and open that center of intuition. Quietly breathing, observing the body. Noticing every shift, every change in the body, not from a place of judgment, but just simple observation. You're going to go up to the crown now, activating the crown. And in the crown, I want you to create a symbol that represents the highest vibrational expression for the work that we're here to do today. Go ahead and see, what symbol do you see? Breathing deeply, putting that symbol 360 degrees around the body, around our space, and we're going to begin. From the center of the earth, you're going to bring up a powerful golden light that comes rushing up into the center core, creating a vortex of energy. Golden light, one of the most powerful neutral energies as it begins to rotate around the multidimensional body. Very soft, gentle, neutral energy. This is a great light to utilize when we're healing. From source, bring down a powerful wave of golden light that comes down through the crown of the head, combining with that earth golden light. So you have two vibrational frequencies of golden light in your body mixing at your center core. Go ahead and visualize moving this vortex around the body, around the 7 layers, picking up debris from all those layers. Everything that you've accumulated through the weekend, through the week, through your day, go ahead and visualize clearing all of that out. Okay. You're going to send 10% back down to the center of the earth. Just visualize. It doesn't have to be 10%, just a small percentage. You're just allowing a small amount to come down to the center of the earth. Everything that you're clearing out. This functions as an anchoring mechanism, as well as you are healing Mother Earth by bringing down cosmic light into the center core of the earth. And this earth, like a recycling mechanism, begins to transform that energy. This is your greater mother, the earth. It's an aspect of yourself, a greater aspect of yourself. And so when we heal ourselves, we heal our earth in which we live on as well. Because it is us, it is a reflection of us. And this is also participates in how we're doing grid work, ancestral work, and how we are healing the collective. Plays a huge role in all of that. So go ahead and see that. Very good. Going back to the solar plexus, take a larger amount now, go up your spine and from the crown of your head, creating a fountain, coating the outside of your field. And this is going to be a very important practice when it comes to resistance, because what I want you to do is I want you to take a look at your field and notice where you have tears, openings, and in those tears, if you have cords that connect to your body, if you have attachments, if you have heavy energies that attach to your body in those openings are created by our lack of awareness. And when we are unaware, we pull in all kinds of parasitic consciousness that attaches to the body and siphons. We give our energy and our life force because we're unaware. So of course we can do any kind of thing when we are hypnotized, right? Not aware, not in control of this body, not aware. So go ahead and pull out from your multidimensional body as you begin to tune in now. We're using our intuition. And you are in reading state, so you are wide open and reading clearly. So go ahead and scan your body 360 degrees. Where do you have cords? I want you to pull them out of the body. And as you pull them out, notice what they look like. Okay? Working with hundreds of people, and the answer is always quite similar. So I want you to tell me what you're looking at there. Just take a look at that. Notice what you're pulling out of your body. Make sure you go into the solar plexus, into the back of the body, the crown, the feet, all around, clearing out any kind of cords and attachments that you have. And usually you'll be able to get a glimpse as to what you are connecting to. Just notice, don't judge right now or don't respond to it in any way. Just release. Clearing. Very good. Notice how much lighter one feels. Close those spheres. Close the opening in the spheres all around. Making sure that you're completely enclosed now. And this golden light is coating the outside of your sphere, creating another layer of neutralizing energy. You're going to inhale deeply, taking back your life force from everything that you just pulled out of your body, and you're going to exhale, releasing, letting go of anything that you took into your body. Let it go. So I want you to go ahead, and now that you're here running energy, we're going to repair the body. Go ahead and take that final small percentage of that energy up your spine, down your arms. Go ahead and visualize filling the inside of your bubble. Now that you have repaired all of these openings, fill your body with this healing gold light from earth and from cosmic energy. You're going to feel like you're surrounded in a blanket of energy, and you're going to absorb it into the pores, into the flesh. Every cell of your body, every hair, every pore is now becoming aware of itself. Bring it into the cells, and every cell becomes aware of itself. The spinal cord, bring awareness. The organs, bringing awareness. Breathe deeply. Awareness into the heart center, into the neck, into the head, down to the feet. Awareness. Okay. Notice how much more energy seems to circulate through the body. So anytime throughout your day that you begin to feel drowsy or drained, this is a great exercise for you to do. Simply repairing your field and bringing awareness to your whole body while you're grounding. Incredibly powerful. So now that you're here, I want you to begin to review all of the aspects of yourself that are in a state of resistance. Okay? And what you're going to look at is the blockages that you have in your life. Take a look at that. The areas in your life in which you have blockages, in where there is stagnation, there is no movement. Take a look at that. Go ahead and tune in to those parts of yourself and see yourself in those moments, in those scenarios in which you feel blocked. Take a look at yourself in that moment. What is occurring to you? Why is there a blockage? Begin to observe yourself. And as you identify why there's a blockage, you're going to begin to kind of name out and become aware of parts of yourself that are communicating to you why there is fear in moving in those directions, or resistance, or any trepidation towards moving in certain directions, or doing certain things, being certain ways. Notice that. What are those things? Okay, once you've identified what it is that you're resisting, I want you to ask yourself why. And from those emotions that you've identified, the reasons why you're afraid of moving forward, go ahead and notice the emotions. What is the strongest emotion that you feel at the thought of moving forward in that direction? Go ahead and scan your body from head to toe. Where in the body does that fear live? Notice that. Where in the body does that fear live? Okay. Go ahead and tune in to that part of the body where that fear is living, anywhere in the body. Focus on that now. Sit with that feeling, with that emotion. and begin to name out. And if you have a pen and paper nearby, you can write it down. But you can name out simply, because this is something that I want you to learn how to do all the time as you're moving through your life. Okay? Go ahead and name out all of the emotions that are inside of that emotion. What is it? Okay. And we're going to take it deeper as you begin to observe, where did we get that perception? Notice that. Is it something that happened as a result of a traumatic event? Is it something that we've learned? And as you identify these emotions and why they exist, from where they exist, I want you to challenge those thought forms that have come up. Is this something that we agree with? Is it who we are? Are these our beliefs? Is it true what we are told to experience? Told to fear, told to resist? Breathing deeply. I want you to take yourself now to the very origin of when you first experienced this sensation, this feeling. And I want you to see if you can go to the collective. Taking yourself back to the origin of this thought form in your ancestral lineage, in your collective. Where does it begin? All you have to do is follow the emotions. Everything that occurs in the body, physically, every pain, every sensation in the body has emotional information for you. So wherever you are feeling some kind of discomfort, I want you to focus on that pain, on that discomfort, on that stagnation in the body, and it will speak. It will begin to tell you what it is. You will get images, you will get words, you will get feelings, colors. So go ahead and notice what it says. And begin to trace back those emotions. How familiar are you with these emotions? You might notice that these are patterns in your life. You felt them before, perhaps subconsciously all the time. So we want to identify the root. Take yourself there. Very good. And as you see yourself in that environment, go ahead and observe yourself in that space. What is happening to you? Notice how you feel. Notice why you feel that way. Notice what you are resisting. What are you resisting? Take a look at yourself. And as you tap into these resistance that begin to come up, there's always another side of that which is resisting, which is something that's being protected. So I want you to find who is being protected. And I want you to give it a shape, a form. It's going to be a being of some sort. It can be a human, it can be some other creature. Notice what it looks like. Observe the part of you that resists. Okay? Is it standing tall, or is it shrinking down? Are the clothing torn up? Does it look hurt, scrunched over? Just observe this being that has manifested in a form, in a physical form, in order to understand who is being protected. Okay? And what do they believe will occur to them if they do not resist? What do they believe? Notice that. Breathing deeply. This is a very important point in this meditation for you to observe, because you are looking at information of your multidimensional body at this time. So go ahead and observe that aspect of yourself. I want you to surround it in a whole sphere of light. What does it need to no longer feel fearful in this resistance? Take it down to the core. Provide it with everything that it requires in order to feel safe in this experience. Breathing deeply. And I want you to notice in the body, as you feel that resistance, all of the emotions, the uncomfortable emotions that begin to arise as you feel that you need to let go of that resistance. Sometimes it won't want to release, sometimes it won't want to move. And this is the part where we are practicing and literally embodying the alchemy of transmuting these heavy, heavy emotions into light. So what is the opposite of these heavy feelings in the body of resistance, of fear? And how can you take yourself there? This is the process of understanding. So go ahead and see yourself and sit still with each one of those uncomfortable emotions in that state of resistance. And notice that when you observe the emotion, at first it will crescendo into a very strong sensation, but if you keep observing it, it begins to just disappear. That is all that emotions are. They are temporary vibrational frequencies in the body that provide us information. And what we want is the information. That's all we want. We don't necessarily need the emotional feeling and sensation. We just need the information. So as you allow those emotions to quickly move through the system, take all of what you learned from that emotion. And as you get that information, provide yourself with the opposite of what is needed and give it to that self. Notice how now that the emotion has left, there is this tightness in the body, and when you give it this new emotion, this new expansive feeling, it begins to release. So it's almost as if your body can breathe more. You feel more calm, more centered. Notice that. Notice that. Breathing deeply. And any part of you that still feels this buzzy feeling of fear or resistance, sit with it. The more that you try to run away from it, the more difficult and the more it grows in the multidimensional body into a giant, giant blockage. So in 1 minute, you can completely dissolve that stagnation. Breathing deeply. And you're going to do this until your body is completely comfortable in all of those thoughts, those resisting thoughts that you have discovered about yourself. You might notice that some of these topics might be quite complex, and so they are an opportunity for you to dive deeper into these experiences and work on the participants that are there with you in those scenarios, because they will help you learn a lot about how to love yourself. So now that you see yourself here, I want you to see all of the fragments of yourself in these experiences in front of you. Go ahead and surround them in a golden sphere of light, allowing them to begin to absorb this healing awareness that they are safe in this resistance. See them merge into one. And as they merge into one, you're going to inhale deeply, taking them into your body. Into your body as a part of you. Breathing deeply. Breathing deeply. Notice how you observe that we are a collective. Everything is cause and effect. Those that do harmful things to us, perceived harmful things, are living out what they know, using the only tools that they have, just the same way we, in our own life, cause ourselves harm with our doubts, with our fears. So it is just this continuous pattern of self-doubt, of self-fear, of resistance, of blockages that we create collectively and internally. So do we want to continue those toxic patterns in our life, or do we want to flow through all these experiences? And what flow means is what we're here to experience, to create, to manifest on multidimensional levels. So as you see yourself now as one with this aspect of yourself, begin to clear out all of these messages from the past out of your space. We're going to start with the first layer of the body, the first chakra. I want you to locate all of the parts of yourself that are in resistance in regards to your feeling safe in your body, in your environment, and in home, whatever you call home, whatever you create as home, any feelings and resistance in the place that you live or that you will be living. Eliminate all of those emotions out of the first layer. Feeling safe in the body, feeling safe with the self, trusting the self. Very good. Go ahead and go to the second layer, the sacral chakra. In the second layer of your sphere is our relationships, our exchanges. So go ahead and locate all of the resistance that we have around relationships, intimacy, connection, balanced exchanges, in which we know our boundaries, know ourselves, and can also respect others in those exchanges. Go ahead and see, where are we still holding inconsistencies and blockages and fears in those exchanges? Clear it out of the sacral chakra. We're going to go up to the third chakra, the solar plexus at the center core. Go ahead and visualize that you're clearing out the third layer, breathing deeply. This is the emotional body. So where are we resistant with our emotions? Either to feel the emotions or overwhelming emotions. And so we stay in certain aggressive states, the imbalanced masculine or the imbalanced feminine. We play out these negative, inverted expressions of ourselves in order to preserve the self or to feel protected, feel safe. Again, it goes in alignment with all of the other lower chakras, but their primary is the emotion. Okay, where are we fearful, resistant to truths? Okay, where do we suppress or ignore our anger when things trigger us? Okay, and anger is fear. What are we fearful of? Eliminating all of that out of the solar plexus, the third layer of your body. You're going to go up now to the heart chakra, the heart center. Okay, go ahead and visualize where we resist loving ourselves, where we resist accepting ourselves, where we resist coming into this expression of seeing others as a part of us instead of seeing them as something separate. Where do we resist that unity consciousness? Either because we're insecure, we feel we're unworthy, we feel we're going to be judged, we're afraid of being harmed because we believe that we are powerless. Notice all of those programs that live here in the heart center that block the ability to love unconditionally yourself and others. Go ahead and visualize clearing from the heart center all of that resistance. Very good. Excellent work. Excellent. Breathing deeply. Going up into the throat now. Okay, communication, expression. This is the expression of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Go ahead and visualize clearing that layer, all of the resistance to speak, to express. And when we are healthy in the lower chakras, when we balance our emotions, speaking our truth is never something that is aggressive or too weak. It's exactly in alignment and in connection with the intuitive system, so that everything that we speak comes out intuitively connected, and it's always in truths, because we know our truth and we know the truth of the collective. So this is where we want to stay. It is the most compassionate speaking because you are aware of yourself and others, and that's the kind of communication that is most conducive to creation, instead of being destructive or counter-creating. So go ahead and visualize all of the parts of us that we resist in coming into our truth, trusting our truth, communicating our truth fearlessly, and all of the mechanisms that fall behind that, which include your ability to love and accept yourself for who and what you are. So go ahead and visualize clearing that out from the throat chakra. You're going to go up into the third eye now, and this is, of course, our intuition, the higher wisdom. Where do we resist truths, higher truths, sometimes difficult truths, truths that can feel very difficult to embody in the physical because we're so used to the physical realm, to what we can feel, touch, and see through our five senses? Well, a lot of these truths are happening in the non-physical. So our ability to notice and integrate those as a part of yourself, accessing the higher wisdom and trusting what comes through. Clear out all of the resistance that we have in the higher realms of the body in the seventh layer. The seventh layer of your body. Pull out all of those limitations, and this is where we start going into the higher levels of where we can find artificial intelligence, any kind of things that are blocking our ability to move forward, that we helped create with our doubt, with our fears. We participated in installing this kind of blockages, etheric blockages in the body. So let's remove those now. Breathing deeply. We're going to go up now into the crown. Okay, 7th and 8th chakra. Go ahead and visualize activating the 7th and 8th chakra. Visualizing clearing, and this is already going into the centers of manifestation. What are we here to experience? Are we constantly in a state of resistance and therefore experiencing the karmic cause and effect cyclical pattern? Or are we coming into our creator God state, that creator state of intuitive awareness and interaction with our world? Take a look at that. Let go of all of those limiting beliefs that hinder your ability to manifest, to work very conscious and awake on all dimensional planes. Clear that out of your 8th, 7th, and 8th chakra in order to manifest what you need now. Breathing deeply. Going up now into the 9th. Go ahead and activate the 9th. Clearing out the 9th dimensional plane. This is our dream time. So any dreams that we've been having, nightmares that we're having, all of the fears and resistance that we're expressing in the higher dimensional planes, go ahead and clear those out. Go up to the 10th dimension. This is the astral layer where we're traveling. So go ahead and see all of the parts of us that are in resistance of navigating these realms consciously, because you're navigating them unconsciously. And that's always not a good idea, because this is where we begin to embody things that we don't want, bring in attachments, have experiences that sometimes we feel are out of our control. But in fact, we participate in many things unconsciously. And so the more we become awake, we can now choose what we experience in that astral plane. So go ahead and clear all of those hidden and unconscious contractual agreements for darker experiences, fear-based experiences that do not serve us anymore. Go ahead and clear those out. Clear them out. Very good. You're going to go up to the 10th and the 11th dimension now. The 11th dimension. And the 11th dimension is going up into the higher realm, to the angelic realm. So the parts of us that are on these highest spirit realms, go ahead and focus on clearing out any resistance that we have to see ourselves as one with all consciousness in the non-physical realm, the non-physical planes. Go ahead and clear that out. Any resistance. Any resistance. Some of you are embodied angelic beings. Some of you are embodying those wings in your body. So go ahead and visualize that. Become aware of what you look like on the 11th dimension. Who are you? Become acquainted with yourself, your gifts, the work that you're doing here in the 11th dimension. Because you are doing work on all the dimensions. So becoming aware of yourself on all dimensions. Very good. Notice how the energy becomes so much lighter. Go up to the 12th dimension now. What are you doing on the 12th dimension? Take a look at yourself. Who are you in the 12th dimension? This is where we have our starseed, what we think interplanetary, but they're interdimensional selves, right? Our ET starseed selves. Who are you in this dimensional plane? What lineages are you presently working through at this time? And are you aware of? Take a look at that. Releasing all of the resistance in those planes to know, to embody, and to interconnect with our higher realm gifts, intuitions, and the higher powers of the human. Go ahead and activate that realm. And lastly, the 13th. This is where we begin to see yourselves as nothing more than light. So take a look at your light body from above, looking down at your body, sitting in that chair or laying down or wherever it is that you are. Look down from your 13th at your body. How big is your light? Take a look at yourself. Take a look down at yourself. Go ahead and grow that light. Channel that white light down through the center core of the body. As you connect up to Source, bring that white infinite consciousness down to the center of your 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 1. You're going to open the root chakra, spinning it as fast as possible, filling it up with that source light. Going up to the sacral, opening it back up, spinning it as fast as possible, bringing source light. The solar, spinning it as fast as possible. The heart, bringing it in. 12, throat, bringing in that source. Going up to the crown, bringing in that source. Very good. So you've now created a channel of energy that runs through your body. Wherever you feel interferences is where you need to work on any kind of blockages and stagnation in the body. I want you to do one quick scan over your body, and anywhere that you're still feeling any kind of interference, blockage, whatever it is, I want you to see what it looks like and pull it out of your body. With your etheric hand, you're going to pull it out of your body up into that source. Clearing. You are the master of your body and your mind, and you have full power and full control over this system. If you feel that you don't have control over the system, we still haven't understood that everything begins and ends with us. So go ahead and visualize clearing out any other things that are in that multidimensional body and begin to see that life force moving through. Excellent. Breathing deeply. Go ahead and open your eyes as you come back into the room, and you're going to see your grounding cord, your protection, and your projections of your crown, of your chakras all around you. And go ahead and notice how that feels. And what I'd like for you to do is, in the meditations that you're going to be doing on your own in this next week, I want you to focus any time that you're triggered with feelings of resistance, in moments where we are triggered through fear or anything else that happens. I want you to bring yourself back to this feeling, this very expansive feeling of non-resistance, in which you feel safe. You feel safe in that unknown, and that you're completely able to interact in that moment. Very good. Thank you so much, guys. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm just going to go quickly into the chat to see if I missed any questions. Let me take a look at this. Anita, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Soundbuzz says, I get ringing in the ears a lot, and I know it's not a condition. I can almost recognize it a second before it actually happens. Interesting. That's definitely vibrational frequency that you're tuning into. So grounding is always good. And of course, entering your crown chakra, going up to the 13th, will help lessen any kind of imbalances that is. So it's just a matter of feeling frequencies. Eugene, welcome. From Peru. So nice to see you. That's so great. Nice. Great. So the symbol that you created for protection, the symbols that we create at the beginning, symbols are very important. And when we utilize them in order to own our space, we can utilize them to set the vibrational frequency with an intention. That's all it is. It's the intention. So if you put that up into your sphere, I have many videos that I've done in the past about changing experiences, whether you're going into a courtroom or you're taking a test, and by changing your vibrational frequency, you can change the outcome of things. So symbols is one way to do that and start working with your energy. Very good. Very good. Let's go down to Eugene here. Nothing conscious resistance, but a huge amount of cranial nerve crown misalignment lately. Zigzag down the body. Can you speak on this? Absolutely. So when we have that kind of zigzag energy through the body, there is fragmentation that has occurred here within the body, especially if it's in that kind of form that moves through here. So a couple things. When I see this kind of zigzag energy down the body, sometimes, and I'm not saying that this is your case, but sometimes it is a result of overuse of plant medicine. Okay, so anytime we're using external chemicals to stimulate our spiritual growth, but we're not prepared for that and we're not managing our energy internally, our psychic energy, that can really create tears in the auric field, and especially in this way from the crown down to the center of the heart center. So it's really important to repair those, and of course the stop of use of those. But aside from that, it's if you're not using plant medicine, it's a very strong fragmentation that has occurred in the astral plane, dream time, or the astral, mostly the astral plane. So what I suggest is to take a look at the tear that you have in the body and shine your crown light with your creative color on who is creating, who is the contractual agreement, what is the lesson of this tear that is created in the body. And as you see those contracts, you're going to know a little bit more about what is the agreement, why did this come into your space. Okay. So what you'll notice is that a lot of times it's linked with really heavy ancestral stuff that has come up in layers. And if you can reach the core in the astral plane, have you traveled recently astrally? Do you not remember? Have you had powerful dreams recently? What happened in those dreams? Take a look at what was occurring and start kind of unpacking that information. Of course, a lot of it is going to be metaphor, but how you can kind of understand that is by simply looking at the contractual agreements that are before you and sense into the emotions and the information that come from those contractual agreements. And that will help you understand what you need in order to change that perspective, broaden that perspective from those agreements, clear that out. And so what we need to do is repair the tears that have been done on all layers of the body, starting at the heart. So going up 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, up to the 10th dimension. This tear is going down the body from the 4th up to the 10th, Eugene. So go ahead and heal that, bring it, merge it back together, almost like a zipper on every single layer. And that should really, really help bring that back into space. Don't let the delay get you down. Oh, I hope there wasn't a delay. I'm so sorry. I didn't actually see a delay on my end. So anybody else felt that delay? Zen, thank you so much for being here. Jay, it was so great that you're still with us, even though you're usually sleeping. Beautiful. I think I can only go up to about 8.5 chakra. Okay, no problem, Joe. So the more that you work in healing the first 3 chakras and neutralizing the influence or the imbalances that are occurring in that space, the more and higher you'll be able to activate. Remember that this has a lot to do with your perception of the world, your reactions. So are you in a constant state of survival and interactions and very much in the feeling body? Or can you kind of lessen that by becoming aware of why you are interacting that way and opening heart, throat, third eye. When we come from heart, throat, and third eye, it's different. It's a more silent, more calm interaction in the world and more mindful. Okay, so just take a look at that, and the more and more you'll activate the higher levels. Background is so beautiful, so fitting. Thank you. I actually It's a coincidence, actually. Brad M. Hi, Geraldine. Hey, Brad. Welcome. Marcelo says, so let's go over here. Hold on. Let me come back here. I missed some messages. Eugene says 897, crown keeps misaligning the information and perception, cranial. Okay, let's keep talking. Eugene, if you still need some more help in that, maybe we can work together. So just let me know, okay? Lots of tears. Wow, pressure in the ears. Angie, yep. So let's clear that out, my love. Great job. Infinite words cannot explain the depth you truly are. Thank you, Jay. Thank you very much. Astounding, full of light, felt as if duality lifted. Yes, yes, that's it. That's it right there. It's about that duality, that which is an illusion, everyone. It's just an illusion. So once we can get past that, none of these things like this fear and this kind of resistance kind of magnifies into the physical. Eugene says, interesting one for me, if possible to address. Okay, yeah. Venusian says, I saw a caduce symbol and the eye of providence. That was interesting. Very interesting. I saw angels before you mentioned them in the 10th dimension. So, we're not making this stuff up, guys. This is, these are the dimensional planes, and this is where this consciousness lives. So, nothing that I'm saying is new. This is just things that we tune into when we know ourselves. So through our meditation, we discover these things, we confirm. And so when we hear, kind of mixed information out there, we kind of know because we've been there. We've experienced the 10th. We know what's there. It's this angelic energy, and it has many forms, and there's a spectrum in everything from, light and dark. But the intuition, through its subtlety and training in its subtlety, can begin to fine-tune the frequencies. And this is how our contact experiences, for example, now don't have to be so fearful. Because once we tune into the frequency of the beings that are in our presence, either physically or non-physically, we kind of understand our participation or why they're coming in. And that's kind of the power of this kind of awareness. Marcelo says, I have difficulty seeing stuff. I've tried to do hypnosis and regression session and it never worked. I'm sorry to hear that, Marcelo, but hypnosis is really for everyone. You just need to find the person that can work with you. And there are emotionals and there are physical people. And so if you are more of a physical, they just have to lead the hypnosis in a way that translates for you. Because honestly, we are mostly all in hypnosis most of the time. Any time that we check out on any level, we are hypnotized. So if you've ever just checked out in front of the TV or when you're driving or just kind of daydreaming, you can be hypnotized, okay? And so the thing is that we're directing the mind into the subconscious mind so we can begin to enter into the goodies, which is the information that's in the multidimensional body. So let me know if you need help with that. But it's not all about seeing. You see, you talk about seeing. Some of us, we only hear. Some of us, we sense. Some of us, we know. Some of us, we feel, or we even taste. So more you meditate, the more you'll understand. Most people that come to me that say I have a hard time seeing, in my sessions, they're picking up on things immediately. And Marcella, I want to ask you, in the part of this meditation, when I asked you to look at your multidimensional body, your sphere around you, did you see that it was difficult to imagine that sphere somewhere in your body? Because if you were able to pick up on the variations of energy from somewhere in the body, then you're super psychic and you have the ability of seeing holes and tears. And that right there is a wealth of information. So please keep practicing, observing. I'm pretty sure that you're actually really great at this, but it's just the language that we're using that seems limited. Okay? All right, my love. So Joe says, what if some people are NPCs? NPCs, can you clarify what does that mean, Joe? All right, my loves, let's go down. Your evolution is your liberation. So become beautiful. Yes, absolutely. Love you, Joe. Very good. Eugene says, 4th through 10th, thank you. So perceptive. We'll connect more deeply with you in September. Really looking forward to your unique gift of perception on this. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Eugene. I'm glad that resonates, but we can talk more because there is more there. Too many people flirt with Geraldine. No one's flirting. We're just love here. Nothing but love. I missed most of this. I'll go back. Okay. I appreciate your vision. Thank you, Brad, so much for being here. Throw the access of my chakras. Well, you know, you're in charge of your axis, my love, so you got to get that axis in check. Otherwise, you're just like a candle in the wind going from one to the other. So make sure you ground in that. All right, my love. So Venusian says, that's interesting you say that because I feel like fear for ETs has decreased significantly since I've started watching your videos. Good. This is definitely one of the things because we have to understand that we create everything. Even our contact experiences is something that we manifest because we are uncovering the layers of our multidimensionality. Contact is aspects of ourselves that we are meeting, that we are reuniting with. So there is nothing to fear more than the reflection of ourselves. And sometimes that can be terrifying when we have been spending a lifetime running away or covering our eyes from difficult truths that we are and that we see in the world. So more that we become okay with truth, the more that any of these interdimensional beings inside out become a part of us because they are. We realize that they are a part of us. So, okay. Hi, Geraldine. Is it normal that after years of meditation that there is no more thought process? Years ago, I really had that, but now it feels like complete silence. I see colors like dark purple. Great, Ray. That's absolutely amazing. And that's totally fine. Just make sure that meditation should always be evolving, in my opinion. There is a point of stillness that has to be learned from the body, but also it has to be productive in a way in which we are utilizing our awareness on all levels, and that work is never really ending. We are always evolving. We are always learning how to embody this unconditional love, which is this unity consciousness, which means being able to see ourselves and other things as a part of ourselves. And we're doing that. We're learning to do that on many dimensional levels. So these colors for you, do they give you the information that you require for your journey and for your expansion? That's all. And if they do, you're on the right track. You're doing exactly what needs to be done for you in your journey. Every journey is different, but ultimately the soul in this physical body is meant to experience and to see if it can learn the transmutation from the lower to the higher. That's why we are in the three-dimensional plane. One love. Yes, I did see an angel. The wings were enormous. Years ago, I did some healing on my energy self and it was wearing a while. I believe it was trying to help heal me. Yeah, absolutely. Very good. I will keep practicing, but I can imagine a bubble of light, but I have no feedback about holes or cords in it. And it looks like I'm imagining this stuff when I try to find the hole in it. Well, exactly, Marcelo. That's it right there. So imagining is creation, and we need to just come to terms with that. When we imagine, we are creating on other dimensional planes. We are vibrational frequency, we are intention, and your mind is putting out patterns of vibrational frequency that are literally affecting the quantum field. So your imagination is creation. That's why in this earth, because the frequencies are slower and heavier, thank God we don't necessarily create immediately with our imagination very low vibrational things, but we are bringing that heavy vibrational imaginations, and they are informing our total organism and our signature. We have one vibrational signature that is informed by everything that we are, everything that we believe, everything that we embody. So as we go through changing that vibrational frequency, we also change what we experience in the world around us. And so when you're using your imagination, especially in this moment of tuning into your body, you are actually seeing what's happening in your body. And with practice, there are different ways because all of your senses are involved. Notice not just what you're visualizing or imagining, but how do you feel at the same time when you see that? How do you feel when you put green around your body? How do you feel when you put red color around your body? How do you feel when you imagine a protective shield around you? Notice that. And the more that we train the body to heighten its senses, the more we become intuitive and trust those intuitive communications. So it is a process. You know, this is something that I used to train. I trained for years myself to do this, but I also help train others do this. And you can learn to do this. Everyone can, okay? So it's just a matter of training that. Sent you an email a while back and probably busy. Okay, I will check that out. It says Peru in it. Oh my gosh, that's so great, Eugene. Yeah, let's definitely connect. Good night. Ray, thank you for that. All right, my love. Thank you so much. Love you. Love you too, Jay. All my love to you. Thank you for being here. I want to thank you guys for being here. All my love. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you tomorrow.